Hello, hello. Happy Wednesday. All right. We are live. Hello, Janice. How are you doing? Happy Wednesday. So I wanted to show you guys how this turtle from last week, how it dried. And so it already has kind of some spots that are um like carved out almost. So it was cool when I did the dirty pour. When it was wet, you couldn't see that. But then now that it's dried, you can kind of see, especially here on the little flipper, little feet. But that is how it dried. It has not been sealed or clear coated because we just did it last week. I wait a little bit longer for it to completely cure. But that is how that one dried. And so I was really happy with how that dried. So we're going to do another one today. We're going to go ahead and set it aside for now, but we're going to be doing another turtle today. But first we're going to do this canvas here. But I did want to show how the neons dried. So this is that neon that I did the swipe, and this is all dry and everything. And look how bright it dried. Oh my gosh, it dried so bright. So this was putting black in the center, neons around, and swiping black over the neon. That dried really, really bright. But when I did the black background and then blew the neon over the black instead of swiping black over neon, when I did a black background and did neon over that, look at how it really, I mean, it's okay, but it didn't dry. It hasn't been clear coated. It may pop, the colors might brighten up a little bit more. But this one, thank you, thank you. Yes, I love this one, how it dried. It dried really nice and bright. And it's kind of funny because it almost looks like a heart with the way an actual human heart, it almost ends up looking. So that's really interesting. But then when I did a black background with neon blown over the top, it dried completely different. So same paint, same mixed up, the same exact. How different. Isn't that weird? But yeah, it looks kind of like an actual heart. And I didn't even mean, that's just how it dried. So I was really happy with that. But I'm hoping when I clear coat this, when I put a little bit of polyacrylic on it, it'll make the colors pop a little bit, but really it's pretty dark. I mean, it's all right, but it's not as neon as they were. So, all right, I'm going to set that aside and then we'll get on to the other ones. I just wanted to share how those dried. So, I would suggest if you do get those neons, because they're only $5.27, so they are a really good deal. They're at Walmart. They're the Royal Langnickel. If you do get those, like swipe black over it instead of doing like a black background. For some reason, that makes a difference. So, all right, I was going to do a swipe on this one. So I'm going to do, I just have a bunch of colors that I had mixed up for some other pours I was doing. And these are all just mixed with Floetrol. This one does have silicone. So I'm just using these up. They're a little bit thick because they were mixed a couple days ago, but that's okay. A swipe is a great way to use up leftover paint, especially if it's kind of thicker. And that first blue was cobalt blue, Apple Barrel's cobalt blue hue. This is a yellow I actually mixed up on my own. It's yellow with a little bit of orange in it. This is Cherry Cobbler. I think it's either folk art. I think it is folk art, but it's Cherry Cobbler. So you can see that this paint is kind of thick, but that's okay. That is perfectly fine. So we're going to do a variety. I have one of those turtles. I have a 6x6 inch canvas. A couple of, this is a 10x10 inch, and I have a couple of those to do. Just a variety. And then I also have a 9-inch heart. And this is another little bit brighter yellow. These were mixed a couple days ago. I cannot remember. This was, I don't remember the brand, but this is old paint that I was mixing up to see if it would still, and it worked just fine. I mean, this paint is a couple years old. Oh, probably more than a couple, probably 6, 7 years old. And then I'm just going to swipe. So both the blues, one of the yellows, and I believe the cherry cobbler does have silicone. And I use the treadmill oil. So, all right. Now I'm just going to swipe through, make sure I get down here all these edges. So. And we're going to get some greens out of there, of course. So I hope everyone's week was good. Our week was good. We did make it out to go mushroom hunting again. So that was nice. And so we got some more chanterelles, and we cooked up a real nice soup. I looked up a mushroom soup recipe, and I found a Hungarian mushroom soup recipe. Oh, it was real good. So we had just enough chanterelles to do that one batch, one pot of soup. But it's been kind of rainy here, and so it's been perfect soup weather. So that was really nice. And we got out and got a nice hike and got to enjoy. Everything is rapidly changing with the fall weather, with the leaves and such. So we got to enjoy the fall leaves. And that was probably our last time getting to go mushroom hunting for this year, for chanterelle season, because now it'll freeze up there during where we look. So we won't be able to go again because they'll be frozen. Oh, awesome. Good to hear you had a good week as well. Yes. Yeah, it's so nice to get out and about and just enjoy the outdoors and the nature and good family time. There was a little tiny bald spot had popped up. I was just fitting in that little bald spot. So I am going to go ahead and try to scrape out just the last of this yellow here to get this edge. And maybe a little bit of this cherry cobbler, because this is just leftover paint, just trying to use it up. But yeah, we were just same area the week before, and the fall leaves were barely switching over. And then 1 week later, we go to the same area, and it's like full on fall in that area. So that was interesting. And then where we go mushroom picking is also now going to be hunting season in that area, hunting for deer and elk and stuff. So we don't want to be, up there with roaming around the woods too much where they're hunting. Once it becomes hunting season, full blown hunting season, we don't usually want to go in that area too much. So I'm actually going to take this and turn this. I have been just swiping gently across the surface, just real gently gliding across the surface. And so now I'm going to do this last little corner, but we got some lovely green cells popped up with the mixture of the yellow and the blue, which was expected. Just making sure it get it over the edge each area. Scraped what was on the back of my knife off just to get that little bald spot there. All right. Yep, no more mushroom. The mushroom season this year was pretty short. It started kind of late, and then all of a sudden it was already fall and it was done. But we mainly go the for chanterelles. But we got 2 weekends, 2 good weekends of hunting. We may find, we'll go out and we'll go hiking and stuff, but just not in that same area where it's going to get too cold. Our main mushroom hunting area, we'll be able to just go some of our normal hikes, and we might run across a couple, but we probably won't run across a ton anymore. There'll be that random few. But we did find some crystals, some quartz crystals, and some big pieces of quartz. So that is always fun too. We like to find some nice rocks, some nice quartz, and so we did find some pretty large pieces. So all right, whole ton of little tiny cell explosion on this one. Gonna go ahead and move this aside. And then I do have one of these hearts. These are these wood hearts. They're the nice thick ones. They're from Art Mines. They're from Michaels. I almost said Walmart, but they are not from Walmart. They are from Michaels, and they're a 9 by 8 inch, and they're about a little over ½ inch thick. So we're going to go ahead and do that, and we're going to do that in a split cup. So we have one of these split cups. This is our 4-ounce split cup. So it's a 4 compartment. Each compartment is about an ounce of paint. So these small little things like this, perfect for these small split cups. And they fit nice in your hand. That's a 4-ounce one. And then we also have, this is our small. And then we also have mediums and larges. Our medium is a 9-ounce and our large is a 16-ounce. So our large is a real big, nice handful. And then the medium ones are perfect for a little bit bigger canvas. But these ones work great for a 6 by 6 inch canvas or these little hearts or all kinds of projects. But we're going to use this one today. Yeah, I love it when we find the great rocks. Yeah, that one had a ton of lacing, didn't it? The yellow really was lacing over the top really well. So this is Master's Touch turquoise or green turquoise or turquoise green. This is Vivid Violet. I think it's folk art of Vivid Violet. And these are all just mixed with Floetrol. And I honestly don't know what has silicone or not. So there may be a couple of them with silicone today. And then this is Apple Barrel's Pink Eraser. Apple Barrel's Pink Eraser. And then Cobalt Blue from Cheap Paint. Cobalt Blue. And then we're just going to do kind of like a traveling kind of ring pour on there. But yeah, we found the rocks like right near a gravel road where they had repaired the it was a little like 1-lane little bridge that went over the gravel road over a little creek. And so it was right where they had put the anchors in for like the creek. And so that's where we found that. Where I think over the last couple, like maybe a year or two, they've repaired the bridge. And so I think they some crystal, some rocks, some nice, I cannot think all of a sudden. What? Quartz, quartz. I could not think of the word quartz all of a sudden. I just said it maybe 5 minutes ago. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and just pour this out. We're going to do kind of a traveling ring pour. And I honestly not sure what has silicone here. We may have some silicone, we may have some cells, we may not at all. Getting going a little too fast. Gotta slow down here. This is probably plenty of paint for this size project. All right, so almost looks kind of like a Mickey ears or something right there. Getting it all the way to those edges, holding my hand right here to help it not just run off that top edge. And we'll have to kind of help it down on the sides a bit. So it does look like there was a little bit of silicone. I believe the cobalt blue had the silicone. I'm not sure, but that's what's looking like, how it's reacting. So, all right, let me wipe my hands off. And I am not going to torch this one. If I torch it, we will get a little bit of cells, but I'm really not wanting a ton of cells. The few that have popped up are great, that's fine, but I'm not wanting a ton of cells. So I'm not going to torch this one at all. And there's not a ton of air bubbles anyway, so we don't need to pop any air bubbles. We're not wanting to create cells, so no need to torch. Yeah, these nice thicker, they are a little over a half inch. They're a nice size wood plaque to do. And you can get them at Michael's when they're on sale. It's great. I always love to get everything when you can on sale there. Yeah, they did most of the digging for us, and they were, I mean, right next to the road. They were a great score. We found the quartz right near the road. We didn't even have to go too far at all. And it was a beautiful creek. It was a beautiful setting. So it was nice to just, that's actually where we stopped to have our lunch, is what we did, is we stopped at the creek to have our lunch. And then we were looking around and we were like, oh, wow, there's a whole bunch of quartz over here. And then we kind of walked the little trail down and just kept finding pretty large pieces too. So, and a lot of them have inclusions or whatever, where they've got the uh, kind of a hole in it where it's actual crystals growing up through. So that's really cool. So, all right, I'm going to go ahead and move this one. And I am seeing a little bit of cells popping up in that cobalt blue, but I kind of like, just a few, not overdone, not tons and tons, but a few. That's kind of cool. So I'm going to go ahead and move this out of the way. Then I've got this, it is a 6 by 6 inch, one of these gallery wrapped, real deep canvases. This is one of my favorite sizes. These are great to do paint pours on. So I'm going to do this one. I'm going to put on this is a background of a real light blue. It's actually a discontinued color. It was an apple barrel color that was China blue, but they have discontinued it now at this point. But it is not mixed well in the bottle, because look at that. But we can mix it right. I should have shaken it a little bit. And I think that is why they actually discontinued it. I've noticed it kind of separates a little bit more, a little bit easier than some of the other colors. Just making sure I get it nice and over each of these. The edges are real deep edges here. They are, I believe, about 1.5 inches, 1 3/4 inches. But what's nice is that, like, if you have a bookshelf or something and have like decor on your bookshelf, these just sit right up. You don't even have to hang them on anything. They just sit on a shelf. So they're kind of neat that way. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be doing a blown flower here. And this is not to be confused with like a bloom. I do not have like a cell activator. You know, I have just silicone. So this is just my regular recipe. So we have Craft Smarts Plum. All right, let's see if we have any more. We might have used, we do have just a little bit of that cherry cobbler left. Scraping that little bit out. And then what I'm going to use to blow this out is I'm going to use a aquarium tubing. You can use straw, you can use whatever. And this is School Bus Yellow. I cannot remember the brand. It might have been Nicole's brand paint, but it was School Bus Yellow. So now what I have is I have aquarium tubing, and I just use that and gently and just blow through that. Now, I believe all 3 of those colors have silicone. I cannot remember honestly if the plum does, but I believe it does. We're going to see here. So I'm just going to real lightly feather back and forth as I blow. I like to do each of the 4 sides. And then I come back in and do, like, in between each petal, do another petal. All right, let me catch my breath a little bit. So that is just like one of my blooms. That is not like a Shelly bloom, like the bloom technique that you normally see people do. This is just mixed with Floetrol and a little bit of treadmill oil. So, but that's what I do for a bloom. Just pop in, there was a couple of little bubbles right there, and you can gently blow and you'll just pop the bubbles as well. I like this color combination for these blown out. You kind of get a really nice, when the colors kind of start to go together. So you can do blooms without like all those added ingredients. They definitely are a different, it's like comparing apples and oranges, but you can definitely do like a blown flower like that. So I'm going to go ahead, and it is going to kind of pull just off the edges just a little bit, but I kind of like that when it just, especially if it evenly does on all the sides. So I'm going to go ahead and move that aside. All right. Now we have another 10 by 10 inch canvas. It did get a little bit of a drip on it. I'll go ahead and wipe that off. So Yeah, you can totally do blooms without having to have all those other ingredients, and you can just make it your own, definitely. So real quick for this one, I'm going to want I want to mix up a little bit of this gold, this extreme sheen. I meant to do this ahead of time before we went live, but no big deal. I'm going to go ahead and just mix up a little bit. We're not going to use ton today. So I'm just putting a little bit in this small little cup. This gold is just amazing, that extreme sheen. And then I just have regular old Floetrol, US Floetrol. And I'm doing like 3 parts Floetrol now. So 1 part paint, 3 parts Floetrol, or like 25% paint, 75% Floetrol. We're going to mix that up, and I can tell that that paint is a little bit thick. So I will put just a little bit of water, but you mix your Floetrol, and then you can see like how much water you're going to need. I'll try to do this as quick as I can. This is the most tedious thing of paint pouring. As all paint pour artists know, mixing the paint is the tedious stuff. But this is a real nice bright gold. All right, so you can kind of just let it flow off the end and see how you're doing. Make sure you scrape the sides, get everywhere. We need just a little bit of water. So I just have a little bottle of water, squeeze bottle, just put a little bit at a time. And then that looks like that's going to be pretty good there. All right. So for this one, we are going to do a dirty pour. Let me grab we'll just grab a yogurt cup. We're going to do that. It is China Blue, but I've got to mix it just a little bit. For some reason, I forgot to shake it again. That's all right. Plum. A little bit of that gold. And then I want phthalo blue. And that's cheap paint phthalo blue. We're going to use cameo pink. That's Apple Barrel's cameo pink. Now I'm going to give it a shake, that blue that I keep forgetting. Okay, now it's going to have a bunch of air bubbles, but that's okay. At least it's shaken up. And we've almost got plenty of paint here. A little bit more of that gold. And then a little bit more of that plum, and we're good. All right, so I'm just going to do just kind of randomly all around the dirty pour. So you could do just straight, like a straight pour. You could do diagonal back and forth. You can do, I mean, any direction you want, but I'm just going to kind of go in random how I want to just randomly pour it out. And it looks like we might need a little bit more paint here. I keep misjudging how much paint I'm going to need, and then I need more. You would think I would, this is a 10 by 10 inch canvas. You would think I would know, but I'm going to get a little bit more here. And then we've got plenty, don't we? We have got plenty now. All right, now we'll stretch that out. So we have two more after this one. We have our turtle, and then I was going to do a big 10 by 20 inch canvas. Now we're just going to slowly kind of tilt this one, and then we will give it a torch here in just a moment. Tilt it somewhat back to the middle. That gold did mix throughout, so we kind of have a shimmer across the whole surface, but then we have kind of ribbons of gold as well. So when it dries, you'll be able to see that more, the gold. Just go into each corner, then back to the center a little bit. Off this edge just a little bit, back to the center. Then we'll give it a little bit of a torch. A nice shimmer all the way across that one. All right, let me wipe my hands clean and then we'll give it a torchy. We probably won't get too much. There wasn't too much silicone, but I believe the plum had silicone. And we're just kind of popping any bubbles from just shaking that. If you just shake your paints right before, you will get a few bubbles, but not too many. All right, so just kind of an abstract kind of design, but a few cells through here and through here. So what sometimes I like to do is just see if I can get, just by getting the torch just in those areas, just like that, and see if we can just try to get a few more just along, but not the whole thing, just a little area. Which a few did, but not too many. But I'm liking it. I'm liking the shimmery gold, the color combination with the shimmery gold over the top. Oh, thank you, thank you. So, all right, I'm going to go ahead and move this one aside, and then we're going to do one of those turtles. All right. Now these turtles, these are kind of nice because they already have the hanger right on the back. So that's kind of a little bonus. So I thought we could just do, I still have some of this same paint in here from our split cup. I am going to add, it looks like, just a little bit of, for some reason, there's still a lot of the cobalt blue, but not this vivid violet and not this pink. All right, so we're going to go ahead and still do a on this one, and then we're going to go ahead and do a little bit of a green swipe, just like we did the head and the feet on the last one. All right, that's probably plenty. This isn't too big of a turtle there. Let's go ahead and get that stretched out all around. Yeah, that other turtle dried really nice. I'm really happy with the way it dried. These are super cute. I love turtles though. So I'm stretching it almost to the edge where the first, I'm going to go around twice because I'm trying to keep the kind of definition of the rings but also get it to the edge. And it's kind of, it's not a perfect circle. It's, you know, that size. So we're going to kind of go around twice. So now we're heading around for our second one, and we're actually going to pull it to the edge now at that point. And there is silicone in the cobalt blue, so we are getting a few cells, but it's all right. I'm liking the, you know, few cells there. Just pushing it back to the center now. All right, now I'm going to try to very carefully do a swipe here on each of the, we're going to use that same turquoise green. And we're going to carefully swipe the head and the flippers, the paws. They don't have paws. So now here's a turquoise green. It's I believe it is no, it's Apple Barrels Aquamarine, which is a somewhat new, the last like year and a half it's been out. Somewhat new color for them. And then we're going to come in with some of this margarita. It is Nicole's brand margarita. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to wipe my palette knife clean. We are going to swipe around and push. So if we go ahead and swipe it this way, we're going to pull this center color into our swipe. We don't want to do that. We kind of want to swipe around, leaving a space for now, getting all the other edges, worrying about the other edges. And then we're going to push this paint to the other paint instead of swiping it down in. We're going to push it up there. It takes a little minute, you know. All right, now we're going to get to this one. Just kind of swipe the colors, then push the colors up to this other. All right, I'm going to wipe my knife clean. Now I'm going to come in here to this one. You're just pushing it up to the other one. All right. The head is really looking nice. I almost don't want to like swipe through it. I'll just push the colors around a little bit without kind of mixing it. All right. It keeps wanting to move on me. I don't want to swipe it right off of the yogurt cups. All right. Now, what I'm going to do for this, because I kind of like the design we're getting, so I'm just going to get a little bit of this green. So I can kind of bring in this green in the spots that. Okay. Loading up with a little bit more green. All right, just kind of push that up to the other surface. Now I'm going to wipe my palette knife. So I kind of like him. There's a little tiny bald spot here. All right. So I hope that dries nice. And I like that we've gotten a few cells with just, you know, and then it has, it's hard to show on camera, but it has these little spots that you can still see the shape of the back has kind of a carved shell, little hexagons, you know, like a turtle shell has. But it's just barely can see. It's kind of cool. But all right, so I'm going to go ahead and set this one aside. Yeah, it was trying to run away on me, wasn't it? I had to grab a hold of it with the other hand. They're kind of lightweight, so I was kind of pushing around on it and it just kind of wanted to run away. But I got a hold of it. We got it. Yeah, you kind of learn to be patient with it. Sometimes I still get rushed, and I catch myself getting rushed at all this, and I have to say, no, slow down. Better results if you'll just slow down. But yeah, it's easy to get rushed with everything. But if you slow down, yeah, definitely can tell a difference. So I'm kind of cleaning up my area, cleaning up my surface, because now I am going to do a 10 by 20 inch canvas. So I'm going to do a 10 by 20 inch canvas, and that is going to be the last one for today. Just making a little spot for that. All right, so hopefully this guy will dry nicely. I'm loving the head. It looks like almost a real turtle. We almost crash landed him. Okay, we got him out of the way without crash landing him. Okay, so now we have this larger 10 by 20 inch canvas. Gonna get a couple of these yogurt cups. I've learned that the Tillamook ones, and then we also have the Winco ones, are different heights. So you have to have the same brand, because it's just a little bit taller, and then you'll be off balance and slide off. So let's see. Move these all out of our way. And then this is a nice big 10 by 20 inch. And that will be kind of our grand finale for today. Get it into focus here. Sorry about that, guys. It'll focus on my hand. All right. So what we're going to do with this one is we're going to do a black background, and then I'm going to blow, use the world's smallest leaf blower and blow some colors up over the black. So we're going to use that gold, that extreme sheen gold. We're going to use that turquoise green. Okay, we're going to actually open this up. We need a lot more than that. It wasn't coming out for us very quick, was it? We're probably going to use the last of this black up. All right, let me spread that about and see how we're doing. Black is so messy. But it really, the gold and everything, oh, pops on top of the black, though. Looks nice. And this is cheap paint, just their lamp black. Get it to the edge as best we can, and then I probably will have to get those certain edges on the back here after the stream. But we're going to do some greens and some gold, and we're going to use that world's smallest leaf blower for it. Shake off, I was getting a lot on the top, so I just kind of give that a little shake and use that. So we almost didn't have enough, but I think we're going to have just enough. See if I can get that spread out just a little bit. All right. I like to shake off any excess. So now we have, hello, Kathy Mack. Welcome, welcome, Kathy Mack. Thank you for stopping by. We're doing a last grand finale here. We're going to do a blown paint pour. So I think I'm going to go like, I think we'll do something like, yeah, we'll do something like that. And then we'll use the world's smallest leaf blower. So that was our turquoise green. This is ultramarine blue. Then I think I'm going to do sap green, cheap paint sap green. And then we have our gold that we mixed up. It's the Extreme Sheen. I'm going to put just 2 drops of silicone in that Extreme Sheen. Give that a little bit of a mix. But we're going to go ahead and we're going to get some of this green light, Cheap Paints green light, a little bit brighter, lighter green. We're getting plenty of paint on here, aren't we? All right, now we're going to go with gold. And then we're going to blow that around a little bit. And this is going to be our last one for today. All right, so if you have your headphones on, I'm going to be using this guy. This is the world's smallest leaf blower. It's from Amazon. It's a great one for this. It blows the paint around real nice. And it's not too super loud, but I do like to give a warning in case you are somebody that has your headphones on. But I am going to use this now. So I'm going to just kind of go in and kind of feather it back and forth, each side, kind of back and forth, as I go down this kind of abstract design I kind of threw here. So, all right. Warning for headphone users. I'm going to turn this on now. See, it's not too loud, but it is a little bit. Oh, so real quick. So I hit it a little bit too hard and it's flung those. No worries. I'm going to continue on and then we're going to come back with our aquarium tubing and we can get, because I don't really like how it flung these kind of strips a little bit, but we'll fix that up in just a moment. All right. So now what I like to do is I like to come in and give it a little bit of a torch because we have created quite a few air bubbles. And then I like to, so while you're torching it, it kind of gives it a moment to settle and you can kind of see what's the actual, composition looking like. And then you can come in with your aquarium tubing and kind of detail it in a little bit. So I just have this creme brulee chef's torch and I'm just lightly gliding it across the surface. I am not really like touching it down on the paint. I'm just gliding it above, a couple inches above. So, all right, I see a couple spots that I would like to just kind of detail. I've got just a piece of aquarium tubing. You can use a straw, anything. So I'm going to go ahead and just kind of blow these down. I don't really like where it flung those. And you can also come in with your finger and just kind of push those down. So, all right. And it's got that extreme sheen gold. So the gold is going to dry really brilliant and bright. See, so those colors really pop on that black. Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. So the colors that had silicone were the turquoise green, the gold, and the green light, the lighter green color. Those colors had silicone. All right. So I think that's pretty good. We'll leave it there. Otherwise, I'll just keep messing with it. So I just kind of randomly threw down kind of some lines and then just blew those out just enough to give a little pop of black, little bit of negative space, but not too much. But so yeah. In a day or two, when this is dried more, I will take a picture of this and put it on my community tab so I can show you kind of a picture of it then. But hopefully it dries pretty well. But that is kind of our grand finale for today. We usually try to keep it about an hour. We're almost done an hour, but we did do, how many canvases have we done today? We did 4 canvases, a turtle, and a heart. So I think that's pretty good. So, and then, so I have been on YouTube for 3 years now. Last week was my 3-year anniversary. And so I was looking, I have 730 videos on here. So, oh my gosh, I have 730 videos. So I am going to be using my community tab to kind of share some of those old videos that have kind of gotten lost because I made 730 videos. I've got some pretty good ones, but they're kind of lost within all those other ones. So I'm going to be sharing some of my holiday videos that I did, my paint pour holiday ones. And so be a lookout on my community tab because I'm going to be sharing some of my favorite videos that I've done because I have 730 videos now. I can't believe that. I just looked a little bit ago, but I have been on here for 3 years. So it's been a while. So yeah, thank you. Thank you. I couldn't believe 730 videos. But and then next week, October 21st is what I call stroke day, or it's the anniversary of my first stroke. So next week, next Wednesday is October 20th. So we'll be live next Wednesday again. But because it is like the day before my stroke day, I thought I would go through and tell you kind of my story and share with you guys, kind of what happened to me and kind of my stroke story and how I kind of started paint pouring, because the whole reason I started paint pouring was to kind of recover from my strokes. So I thought that would be a good opportunity. So make sure to be here next Wednesday during the live stream, because I was going to share a little bit about my story, what got me into paint pouring and why I paint pour and everything. And because next week's October 20th and October 21st will be my 16, is it 16 years? Yeah. Next week will be 16 years since I had my stroke. So my first stroke. So I've had multiple. So I was going to kind of share that next week with you all, and kind of share just kind of signs and symptoms of strokes, because I think everybody should know what to look for. So we're going to talk about the signs and the symptoms of strokes, how to tell if somebody's having a stroke, what to do. You call 911 right away. The faster you can get somebody help that's having a stroke is, it's dramatic difference. So we're going to talk about all that next week, but while I paint pour. So if you don't want to hear it, you can mute it. You don't have to listen to me. But next week, that's going to be kind of the discussion, but it'll be why we are pouring. So you'll get to see me paint and stuff, but we'll talk about kind of my story of my stroke. I thought I would share it because a lot of people maybe haven't heard that yet. So yeah, I thought that would be a great opportunity next week. So make sure to be here. I've already scheduled the live stream, so you can set the reminder. But next Wednesday, same time, 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Same time we go live every week on Wednesdays. So, and otherwise, there will be a few videos. There'll be 3 or 4 videos coming out within the next week as well. So there'll be some videos, and then we'll be live again next Wednesday. So thank you so much for hanging out with me. It is so awesome. Thank you for hanging out with me each and every week. You guys are so awesome. I truly, truly do appreciate every one of you guys. So, all right. Thank you so much. I am going to get off of here though. And so thank you, thank you, thank you. Have an awesome week. And be the change you want to see in the world, guys. Be the change you want to see in the world. All right. Thank you, and have an awesome week.